Up. We freestyle for now. So yeah, as for this this book, I want to know what made you write this book.
Wow, fantastic. What made me write the book is that, as you read in the first half, that I was in search of my identity. And I had I'm a psychologist by profession, and I thought, let me write what I know. Let me challenge the notion of studies that I've studied from and the perspective that I've come from. And so that is what it was. That's why I wrote the book, and just through my own struggles of finding and seeking identity and looking around my own community, just observing what people are going through.
Okay. Yeah, you can move this way. Okay, so you've done it from, this ain't a selfish book then?
No. It's a book that is really quite open. It's open to everybody. There's no color to it. It's just a deep book that goes through the soul. So I went in this book. I had to seek for myself, as you said. You have to know self first in order for you to tell people what challenges you, and how you identifying the notions of things that challenge you. Yeah. Go on.
Okay. So how long did it take you to write it? Because I know writing a book, I've always thought if I wanted to write a book, man, I'm just going to get a dictaphone, talk, and then get someone to write what I'm saying or something. I don't know. How long did it take you to write it? What's the process of writing a book?
This is my first book. So this first book took me a year and a half. Before that, since when I was little, I used to write poetry. But I used to just keep it like short, deep, brief poetry, just keep it around. I'm always been a writer, so you have to have that in you first and foremost to write. Secondly, it's what you write about that will spark a certain audience. The process to write a book, it takes discipline. Not everybody can get up and just write a book. Anybody can write, having said that. But if you're writing about a topic that is of touching the soul and the spirits of people and the community, and also educating people, because this book is a self-help book and it's also academic book. So you can get in. I've received emails from universities in Australia using it as a reference, students, and so you also can do it in schools, universities, and use it for yourself. So it's a 2-in-1 book.
I noticed that someone told me that when you go uni and you got to write an essay or whatever,
yeah,
you have to refer to places you got information.
Yeah.
I noticed that in this book you've got references and that, so it's all above board, yeah? Like in terms of this book, reading it, we know that you're getting this information, is you've actually studied this, and this is, you got proof of where you're getting information, isn't it? That we can even look up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I got references not only from like books only. I got references from live people. My point of reference is my mom, my family, and you find it in the book as well. Also, you find authors, academic scholars in there referring to their work, and then I had to unpack and critically assess their work to the contemporary issues now that we're facing, both the young, the old, and the environment and the social circumstances. So hence why it took me a year. It took actually a year and 8 months, because it took me 8 months to do my deep research, and I referred to my mentors as well. So also to write a book, you need a lot of mentors that are in the same genre of thought process as you, maybe older mentors than that, people that are experienced.
Right. So for starters, if you're writing a book or whatever, you can't just talk a load of gibberish. You know what I mean? Especially when, because like, you're playing with, anything you do when you're giving advice and stuff, you're playing with people, you're dealing with people's lives, aren't you? And they're looking in your eyes and they're asking you, do you know anything about this? Can you help me? So it's always best. And that's how you know people aren't taking any shortcuts when they give you the references. They give you references, places to go and look. People like Umar Johnson does that all the time. Always tells you who wrote what, where, to go and look for it for yourself. So you know that this man ain't just ranting about, you know, black power or anything. He actually knows what he's talking about. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, and Umar Johnson is one of my mentors. It also helped me in some references. You know, I went and referred to certain information. I went and referred to certain information with Umar, and it was so awesome that the experience, and I also interviewed him. So from my interview and from the man's thought process, we're both psychologists, and we're both Pan-Africanists, and so we looked at the situations that we are in. In my interview, you can see me interviewing him about certain things on Power Chat TV, where I asked him about the system of the black man, the system of mental health in the community. And when I did so, Dr. Umar straight away told me that mental health begins in the community. You understand? And the system of capitalism. You found all this in this book as well. Identity, a psychological perspective. And so, yeah, you're quite right, Mario.
Has he got a copy? Yeah. Or are you going to send him one?
He was supposed to take one when he came last month, but unfortunately, I didn't get to meet him to give him the copy because I had one at home, but I didn't. But I will send him one. He's due back, actually.
He had an event, didn't he, with Muta Baruka?
Yeah, he had an event with Muta.
In October. Where
Lighthouse.
I wish I went, you know.
Campbell Lighthouse.
Did you go?
No, I couldn't possibly go. I had an appointment with a client, but I spoke to him.
Anyone who went down there, let us know.
I got a couple of friends that went down there. They said it's awesome. It was one of our teams, that people that we work with together on the Think Tank 720. I've got an organization called Think Tank 720. So part of our team went down there, and Access UK, part of the Think Tank committee member, he also went down there, and it was so awesome.
That's something I didn't want to miss this year.
Yeah, it was awesome, but you know.
Yeah, so okay, so what I see, the front cover's got, you know, it's pretty ideal. It said, this front cover says everything. You can't miss this book. Still, that says identity, and that's like a shape of a man's head. Like for radio people who's listening, it's basically a fingerprint, and the thumbprint is shaped as a head shape, and it's got ears on it and a little neck, and it's a figurine of somebody, but it's just a fingerprint. So basically, identity is the first thing you think of when you look at the front cover, which was very clever. I often go and look for books, and I only buy books off the front cover, usually. Or even when I'm watching a film, I want to watch a film. If I'm not going by the actor, I go by the cover. They say don't judge a book by the cover, but I pick good films and books from the cover. You know what I mean? Somewhere I find a way to connect with what the writer was thinking. But listen, we're going to come in after the break. We've got a short ad.